Welcome back to TeshKidFX for another price prediction update, and in this video I'll be giving you a price prediction update on Harmony One, whose current price stands at the $0.02381 mark, and here on TradingView the market is down by 2.38%. This is after seeing a very nice movement to the upper side yesterday. And in this video I want to give the key scenarios that I expect to play out, basing my analysis on the Elliot waves and the Fibonacci's, also the key areas of support and resistances. So if you're interested in such content, make sure that you stick around till the end of the video. I'll kickstart the video by giving a brief of what has been happening on this chart. From the all-time high, Harmony One has been seeing lower prices in this massive ABC correction, which has now taken us to around the $0.016 mark, and from that point we started seeing a very nice bounce to the upper side, and I believe Harmony One has done whatever it is needed to do in its ABC correction, and soon we might see this pump to the upper side in this Elliot wave count, having a wave 5 taking us back to an all-time high. I also have this blue target area here on the screen, which is the minimum that I expect that wave 1 to the upper side to do, which is at around the $0.24 mark and the $0.19 mark, and that I'm basing it on the Fibonacci's. So if I apply the Fibs here, you can see that that blue target area lies between the Fib level 0.618 and the Fib level 0.5, which is the minimum that I expect that wave 1 to the upper side to do, and I believe we have started seeing a very nice bounce to the upper side, which is forming an Elliot wave down here. So if I jump to the 4-hour chart so that you can see that better. Before I give the analysis basing it on the Elliot waves, I want to briefly discuss what I have here on the screen. Here on the 4-hour chart, you can see the price of Harmony One was trading within this channel over here, and as we were trading within that channel, we were making a series of highs, and that was the very first indication that the buyers were trying to push the market to the upper side. And once we started trading above this key area of resistance at around the $0.022 mark, we broke out of that channel to the upper side, and yesterday we even managed to break above this high at around the $0.025 mark, and we also made another high yesterday. And as we tried to make a retest of this high over here, we did not manage to do that, and that is the reason as to why we are seeing lower prices, because this area was acting now as support, but at the moment we have lost that key area and we are breaking to the lower side. And what is information here, I believe this is an Elliot wave to the upper side, but it's a fractal wave. So if I apply the Elliot waves here, this is my wave 1 to the upper side, then a wave 2, and what is information at the moment is a wave 3 to the upper side, and soon we might see that wave 4, then a wave 5 to complete that wave 1 to the upper side. And to get into details of these waves, in this wave 1 to the upper side, I expected this retracement to the lower side in a wave 2, and if I use the Fibonacci's to see whether that wave 2 has done the minimum that we expect a retracement to do, so we can apply the Fibs from down here connecting to that high of the wave 1. We expect the minimum retracement point to be the Fib level 0.618 and the Fib level 0.5. This wave 2 to the lower side has done that. We even overshooted below the Fib level 0.38, and once we did that, we went to a key area of support down there at around the $0.19 mark, then started seeing this bounce to the upper side in a wave 3. And in that movement for the wave 3, I also have a target here on the screen, up here in this yellow target, basing it on the trend-based Fibonacci's. So using the trend-based Fibonacci, I connect the low for the wave 1 to the high of the wave 1, then drag the Fibs to that low down there. That gives me a target area at around the $0.03 mark, which is at around the Fib level 1.618, which is the minimum that I expect. If we continue forming that wave 3 to the upper side, that is the minimum that I expect. Then see a wave 4, and then a wave 5 to the upper side to complete a higher Elliot wave count 1. So once that plays out, this wave, I'll name it as a wave 1, a wave 1 to the upper side, like that. Then once we are done with the 5 wave to the upper side, I would expect to see an ABC correction, like that. And once the ABC correction comes to an end, then we can name this as a wave 2. And once that move plays out, I also expect the formation of a wave 3 to the upper side, a wave 4 and a wave 5 to complete that Elliot wave count to around the $0.024 mark and the $0.19 mark. To get into the key scenarios that I expect to play out here on this chart, in this formation of this wave 3, now that you have lost this key area of support at around the $0.025 mark and you have continued to break to the lower side, I believe in this movement to the upper side in this wave 3, we are seeing a little bit of a retracement over here. And if I use the Fibonacci's to get some target areas, if we continue breaking to the lower side in that retracement, I expect us to break down to the area between the fib level 0.618 and the fib level 0.38 as a maximum. So here I'll have a target area. So whatever we are seeing at the moment is a retracement of this wave 3 to the upper side, a little bit of a retracement within a wave 3, and this is the target area that I have for us as the minimum that retracement can do. If we break below the fib level 0.382, that will be invalidating this move to the lower side, and maybe I might have to recount my Elliot wave. And before that plays out, this retracement to the lower side gives me the very first key scenario that I expect to play out over here. Now that we are in this target area that I have drawn out using the Fibonacci's as the minimum area that I expect this retracement to get into, it's possible that we might continue breaking to the lower side. And if that happens, down here we have an area of support at around the $0.02205 mark, and that area perfectly coincides with the fib level 0.382, and I expect that area of support to hold once we get to that area, and then have a reversal to the upper side and break above this key area of resistance, have a successful retest, and then continue pushing to the upper side. And in that movement, I expect us to get into that yellow target that I have up there, which is the minimum that I expect that wave 3 to the upper side. And once that move plays out, then wave 3 will have come to a complete, then expect a retracement in a wave 4, and then see a wave 5 start to form. So that's the very first key scenario that I expect to play out. And it's possible that we might also have a reversal within the prices that we are in at the moment, because we have done the minimum that we expect a retracement to do. And if that move plays out, also expect us to push to the upper side, break above that key area of resistance, have a retest, successful retest, then continue pushing to the upper side to complete that wave 3. And the other possible move is that as we try to break above this key area of resistance, we might get rejected and have a pullback to the lower side, maximize this yellow target, and get to around the $0.022 mark, which is at around the fib level 0.382. And in case we lose that key area of support, then that would be the worst case scenario for Harmony 1, because that would mean we might be unlocking even lower prices. We might even have a retest of this support line up there. Then once that happens, we might break down to around the $0.019 mark, which is our next key area of support. So those are the moves that I expect to play out here, basing it on the Fibonacci's and the Elliot waves. And I hope this Elliot wave count to the upper side will play out as I have explained, so that we can name it as a higher Elliot wave count 1, then CR2, then continue pushing to the upper side until we complete that fractal wave for us to say that we are done with the first wave to the upper side. So if I also take a look at the indicators, here on the RSI we are trading at around the 50 mark, and that would mean we have room for us to continue pushing to the upper side. That is in case we find that reversal to the upper side, and if that move plays out, I'll keep you updated. It's also possible that if we continue breaking to the lower side, that move is also supported here on the RSI. So let's be patient and watch out for those movements. If I also take a look at the MACD, here on the 4-hour MACD, we have printed a bearish cross. We are also seeing an increase in the selling volume, so that would mean lower prices might be coming our way, and maybe that retracement to the lower side has not yet come to a complete. So let's be patient and see how that plays out, and I'll keep you updated.